Hello and welcome to the live stream. Sorry about the little delay there. I was trying to get set up and then I clicked the wrong button and messed up my place that I see my chats. But anyway, I'm not sure if anybody's here yet except for me. So I will get started on a little bit of an experiment. I plan on coming back to this screen with you guys. But what I want to do is come into the game. And I was curious and never really got an answer in between the episodes. Was busy with the regular thing when I had the time, the regular episodes. So when we get in here, what I would like to do is start by building some different things near different things, different cities. So I'm wondering if we can build a road. Let's pause it for a second. And what I'm curious about is, like, if we come in here and look at a couple of these houses. Well, let's just pick cities with big houses. So we're gonna pick like just one of these, like, or a couple of these. So we got 11 or 12. Looks like 12 people in each house. I wonder if they divide them up that evenly. 8 in those kind of houses. All right. So now if we come in here and build a road, right, and we can do all of this with auto purchase because we're just gonna cancel it, right? So I want to, yeah, it's just going to be a pain. Let's just build a road, then 10,000 little roads. Yeah, okay, thank you. Right, because I want to see if these people lose people in the houses just because we build a road near them. Right? And then let's go pick another little city. So that's the one with just roads. And let's see if this city is about the same. So this city, yeah, look, it looks like each one of these gets 12. So that's good. Each one of those, like, round houses. I don't know what you would, square block houses. Well, this one has less, but that's not the same exact kind of house. Well, okay, we'll get it a good idea. We'll know if they all leave, right? So this one, maybe we build. Like, I just want to see, I doubt there's any difference, but what if we build, yeah, about the same amount of road? Boy, that is a pain. Boy, it's going to be a pain to get those through there with assigning road assignments, isn't it? All right, maybe we'll just build in front of the church here. So that's the road with the power poles. No idea if that makes any difference. And then let's go find another city and actually... Yeah, let's see how many people. So this one has 14. Well, let's leave this as we'll leave this as like the city that doesn't get touched. And then just one other city, yeah, like this one. Yeah, 14 people. So I guess it sort of depends on how many. Let's plop down some kind of a house. Now, somebody was saying, oh, randomly move cities. You know what? That's a new button, isn't it? Thank you for the comment. I will get back. I didn't get back to the person on their comments. But look, we can actually randomly move cities from existing residential buildings to new flats. That, I'm almost certain, wasn't there before. I definitely would have used that at times. And this is the perfect kind of map to use that kind of thing. All right, let me just build one of my favorite all-time buildings. And we'll just plop in a house and see if that affects this town. Now I kind of need to get an idea of where... do we move people in there? That might be... Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we haven't done anything here. Now, where are we? Yeah, so we built some roads over there. And let's just build like a shopping center here. I don't think there's going to be a difference between... Well, let's do a little mini shopping center. Why not? Right, so each of these has a certain number of people. We have our test town. Well, I guess any town that's not have anything built near it, but we'll be over here. Now, where is it? Yeah, we weren't going to mess with this one. So let's hit play. Fast forward and see. I'm real curious to see if, like, do these start losing people? Let's take a look at our total population count. Hello, Ninad. How are you doing today? I just saw your chat. Sorry if you put it up there minutes ago. There's always, as normal, a delay between that. What I'm doing is I'm not starting here. I'm just trying to get an idea of, do we lose people from these places? Like I've been told that the population stays pretty stable until you do some construction near them. And I'm wondering, is that true for, like, if you just build roads? Because one of our rules is just to build a road there. And then the other thing is, I'm wondering, like, can we build fast enough before they start leaving? Like, if you're not auto building things and you're trying to construct, these things with a construction office, well, I'd want to put maybe a construction office right here. Is that going to cause all these people to flee? Right? So that's just sort of the brief experiment that I've got going on, and then it also gives people a minute to get in the door, so to speak. Since, say, like these people, we could probably tell pretty quickly from there. Now they're going to be getting, well, they're going to be getting food from there, but these people are going to get like nothing from this. And I'm not sure if anybody out there knows the answer. Like, can we get away with building without moving all the people out of here? And I'm not talking about our initial building, but as we're trying to expand, just kind of curious for a few minutes. Sorry about that. So let's see. Let's go around. Do we have any people escaping at all? Like, I wouldn't expect anything to happen until we start seeing. There we go. 2 escapes. Now the question is, if we were to start the map up, like we're on fast forward, like how long? I mean, it's only been 8 days, even at fast forward mode, right? So they haven't really had much of a chance to get unhappy here and here. Now these people you would think might be a little bit happier than the others because they have this. I do wish there was a way to, like, when you come here, let's see, maybe they've added it. Not current prices. The list of things. Yeah, see, yeah, I guess we could. I mean, this is under 1,000 feet. Look, what are visitors? Oh, to the church, I see. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, where's 1,000? Oh, look at that. There's so many little tiny residential things here, but yeah, it doesn't tell you escaped, There we go, though. That would give us some idea, right? Like, is the population going up or down? I don't know if you guys can see that. Do I have the scale on as high as I can get it? Let's take a look. Now, can I change it? Yeah, I can change it from in here. No, I can't, can I? I'm pretty sure the scale's up bigger. All right, so these people escaping, 11 and 1. Well, their happiness is definitely going down in this house. They still seem pretty happy in this one. But again, we'll give it a month or so. That'll also probably take us till 2:15 or so, which is when I wanted to give everybody a chance to get in until. And then I want to take a vote. We might as well talk about this. We started right here in the last one. So we're going to restart because we purchased electricity from the NATO and then went and spent all our dollars on stuff. So building buildings and whatnot. So that wasn't real bright in the sense that we then ran out of all of our dollars and didn't have any more power. By the time we did that, we would have had to bring power in from a place we could get rubles. And it just, like it was just pretty obvious to us that we probably weren't going to survive that big a mistake too early in the game. I'm just reading your chat, Nanad. Yes. I don't, well, I don't think it was yours. Somebody was trying to link, well, I forget whose it was. It could have been. It's just somebody was pointing out to me that when you build a new house, that you could, do that checkbox, which is good because that's especially on like this map when you have a populated map, that would be good. I don't know if it would take too much from our existing buildings, but so in any event, one of the debates here is: do we start over here where we have wrong one? Go to oil. So we have oil. Now I know Pietro's vote is definitely like go for oil early. So like it's not the world's most massive oil thing, but we certainly could start, setting up an oil rig here. And in addition to that, we could come right over here and there's some coal. Where is it? Yeah, over here. It's, not the world's greatest coal, but it's coal. It would produce something. So that would be a much easier start. Part of the idea, well, at least with the original playing, was let's try to make it as hard as possible. So starting over here would be harder for two reasons. One, even though you're close to NATO, being close to NATO is marginally good because then you can't spend your dollars, too much on vehicles. If you have a road depot, you can't get them. You just can't get them from the NATO. So even though you can export relatively kind of easy there, you still have that issue. Now this would, starting over here by this tiny town would be fine. We could get our power from over here, or I really think we should try to shoot towards going towards a I don't care if it's a small one like this, but a Soviet kind of thing, just because we'll run out of money for vehicles. But this start would be a lot easier. So I'm going to take a vote. And if it's up to the two of us, let's see, where is our... Yeah, right over here. And I'm not sure how many other people are there. It doesn't seem like too many people are here today, which is okay, but we will take a vote with whoever is here. All right, so how are these people doing? Yeah, they're definitely, I think they're losing some happiness, aren't they? Now let's see, we can see up here it's telling us people can't go to school and all that. How about like this town that hasn't been, yeah, see, they're not overly happy in that house either. But they don't have, if you look, they don't have all of this. Now let's go look at that's like a little village. Let's go look. Yeah, here's our big town here, right? Yeah, see how, I mean, this is a pretty big city, so the numbers aren't going to be the same. And they're saying people are without power. But they're not, where's another big city that we just, well, this isn't big, but we put a road in here, right? So if we click on this, they're not really listing that much here either, right? Yeah, I'm wondering if these people, I mean, they're not terribly happy, but they're not getting terribly sad either. So let's see. Well, this year, yeah, we've had 67 escapes. Jeez. Yeah, Is that because people are leaving these areas? It's kind of hard to tell because there's so many little houses. Seems like they have the same numbers-ish. Well, this one has 8, yeah, but that was a smaller one. I can't remember exactly what we clicked on. Now, is it like these people seem like they have more? No, they don't seem to have that much more unhappiness. But these people are complaining about sports and culture. How about the one where we just, let's close some windows here. So I'm wondering if it's like once you give them one thing, now they're complaining about they don't have all these other things. Does that make sense? So like when we come here, yeah, look, their happiness is still high even though we built a house here. But if I click on this house, well, no one lives there. That's fine. But yeah, see what I'm saying there? Like, it's only when we built this thing that they go, oh, look, they're shopping. And it's like they hear about all these other things that now they don't have. And then if we build a road through, like this is this town. See, they're really not complaining about things like they are in that other town where we built the store. Good to know. Yeah, this is another one we built just roads on. All right. Well, can't go to school, no kindergarten, but they're not complaining about all those other things. Now, so it's like they want work, but they don't care about the other stuff. Let's just come over to this little city. Yeah, no school, no power, no job, but no complaining about like not having all the finer things in life. No job. These people aren't even complaining about not having a kindergarten. Or maybe, I doubt they would have a kindergarten in here, right? Oh, this was, okay, these are, at least one person is. Yeah, they don't like not having power. They're not real happy, but I don't know. I'd be curious just to let the map play without having messed with anybody to see. Yeah, so we come over here. Yeah, see, these people have these going up, but the other thing's going down. Yeah, and these people can't reach that, can they? No, see, they can't reach all the way over there. So they're not complaining about all those other things. So it seems like, really, once you build them like a store or something, then they seem to want everything. And they can reach, right? Yep. And then these people, can they reach? No, they can't reach it, and they're not complaining about all those other things. Okay, well I think that answers that question. It seems like we could build a road through a town. We just can't give them, well, and let's move some people into, yeah, let's take these people, relocate. Let's just move them into here and see what happens with that. So now when they go in here, yeah, see, they're starting out not real happy because we moved them. So I doubt their happiness will go up too much more. Remember, this is on hard happiness too. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, oh, wait, there they go. Yeah, so it just took them a minute, but yes, if we move people into, and that would make sense, right? When we moved people in here, now they're saying, oh, wait a minute, I can't get a pub. Now, how about these people? Well, no one lives there, but yeah. So I think that's what's happening is if we move people in, at least we can go on that assumption as we proceed, right? All right, so now let's have a vote. with whoever is here gets the vote, and I told Pietro I would count his vote. Pietro would like us to start over in this area because he wants to do oil in the worst way. And I have no problems with that. The other side of the coin is that starting over here would be a bit more difficult because we don't have hardly any resources in this area. So if we're trying to make it super duper hard on ourselves, this would be the bigger bet. And I think, this is still going to be difficult over here. This is not going to be Noobville, just get her done. But we should be able to pretty quickly get an oil thing built, get a coal processor built. And obviously we can get bricks, which was another popular thing to ask for last week. So if Nanad, if you are still there, or anyone else who has a vote, where do we start? I hate to make this a vote of one. And, what am I leaning towards? I'm really conflicted. I guess I'd lean more towards starting here with this Baharad. I'm going to have to change that if we start here. I have an idea. It kind of sounds similar, and since you're the only person who's actually here on time and commenting, we're going to call it Nanad. How's that sound? You have a city named after you, especially if you vote. So I don't have to just decide. I guess we could start anywhere in this general region. Like when I popped in, we could start anywhere around here. If anybody else wants a city named after them, let me know. Now's the time, right? And the nod, I can say, at least I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. I'm assuming I am. Okay, since we're not getting a lot of votes, and I think you guys have seen what we're voting on, let's exit this anyway. Let's take one last look at our little experiment. Yeah, these people are definitely getting unhappy and eventually will leave. These people who can't reach the store are staying stagnant. And then these other people over here, like that didn't get relocated, they're staying pretty stagnant. They're not picking up all those extra dislikes. But then the people we moved in here, look at that, crushed. They're just not happy at all because they don't have those things. And then if we come back, one last check of, so we built a road through this town and it didn't affect their happiness that I can tell. That's good to know, because if we want to start ramping up this, what we need to do is build houses, don't put any people in them, and then as soon as we start getting a store in there, we want to try to get the store, the pub, the sports all in one shot. Or we have to move all these people out and then move them back in or something. Sound right? Good. All right, so I don't think it needs to be paused, but let's quit that. Hey, Nino, welcome. I haven't heard from Nanad in a little while, and we were just about to vote on getting started, and we did a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to actually quit, and then we're going to restart here with a brand new game, Eastern Hills. Look, it'll keep my settings. This is basically the hard settings, except I turn off the day-night cycle. It doesn't affect the people as far as I know. I'm assuming it doesn't. But it also makes for better YouTube videos. When you have this on, it just gets dark and I can still see, but nobody else can see all that well. And other than that, we're just on the hard. Now, I moved the year back to 1960, and I don't think these are actually tied to it, but we'll lock according to year, and everything else hard and difficult. So let's get started. All right, so it has been my assumption, right or wrong, let's close this, that we started right in about the middle of the map, right? So any one of these little towns, I think we could claim we were in the middle of the map. So starting over here by this, we'll definitely, I don't know if you know this, Nino, but there's oil over here, and there's coal right here. The last time we started over there. So now is official voting time. Would you like to start over there, which is going to actually be harder, even though it's a little bit closer to the NATO countries, because being close to the NATO countries is of marginal benefit when it comes to the buildings and all of that stuff. But there's like no resources. That's one of the reasons I started the first live stream as the hardest start, as right here, because there's just no resources in this valley other than land and trees, which aren't the greatest starting industries. So we are sitting right about in the middle of the map. Or do we start over here at Harad, and go from there, which I am going to rename here. Let's see, can I get it yellow from this far away? Just because I had already renamed it earlier. And I'll call it Nanad. And then why don't we call this town Nino? I'll give you a capital. Oop, I try to give you a capital N. There you go. Nino. Right? Yeah, no, it's whatever. Like I did the hardest thing, thinking hopefully I could attract more attention to people coming to the live stream. Now that there's more people watching the videos in general and doing the live streams with us, I'm not too worried about. I don't need 100,000 people following me. You know, like just more than none is kind of nice. Again, I've said this before in other live streams, if there's two of us playing, hey, I don't know, it's like going over to a friend's house and playing a game, right? It's a fun thing to do. So your vote sounds like it's here. It sounds like Pietro's vote, who promised me he would be on time, even all caps to me, I will be there on time. And he's not here. But yeah, so why don't we start over here by Nanad, right? And then we could talk about where we go from there and how we do all of this. So, you know, another one of my votes is we can go to either place or either, you know, borderland to get power. But I think I'd much rather get the power this time, just because that was like the big mistake we made last time. Get the power from somewhere by the Soviet. Oh, there's Nanad. Well, thank you, Nanad. Did you see you had? I don't know if you were there the whole time, but you got a city named after you, and Nino now has a city named after him. So for being the first guys on, there you go. But my vote is, and again, speak up loud and clear if you can, or just soft and wimpy. It's okay. Is to get power from, like, say over here, this time we're going to work towards exporting things to the Soviet. We're right in the middle of the map, and I think we could, you know, if we're going to start over here, I don't think it's unreasonable to, you know, to start exporting things. They're going to have to come here, go down this road, but, you know, there's some little road improvements we could make down the road, but it's a gravel road all the way up to here. So, you know, I think we could export pretty easily to there. And I think we should build like the power lines in from over there too. So this way we can go and spend all of our dollars. And yeah, well, we'll be able to spend all of our dollars, and that way we won't have to worry about whatever else. So let's do something else here. Oh, you know what? I got the game playing for some unknown reason. Let's pause the time for a second while we get started. And I want to come in here. Let's mark out kind of where this oil is. Sound good? Just so we don't build anything else right on top of it. Oil. So it goes from like here, kind of comes down this way. That's a pretty good plop of oil, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of like a little comma shaped thing that comes here to there. So let's just see about, oh, are we going to be able to do this? I want to do something that doesn't cost us any money, right? Well, anyway, we'll know where it's at. Now we looked. So it's like right over here. So don't build anything right over there, including our new power thing. unexpected. Well, hey, unexpected works, I guess. I suppose your parents were thinking of other things besides another child or a child at that moment. I think what's his name? Ron Howard, the guy who has made some good movies, the Happy Days guy, the director. He they named one of their kids Mercedes, and you can imagine why. Like apparently that kid was made in a Mercedes, apparently. So anyway, so let's run the power over since I'm not hearing any great objection to getting power over here. Yeah, let's get the. I mean, we can kind of just come straight unless we. I think I'm going straight back towards our city. Yeah, until we get to like that where we. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna. Yeah, let's get on this. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just want to do it as cheaply as we can, right? Yeah. See, we're getting into this. What happened there? Did it not take, or it did? No, it didn't. After all that, it didn't. All right, let's do it one step at a time. Yeah, see, the problem is when you cross the water, sometimes it. Here, let's turn around and head straight towards Nanad there. Am I saying it right? I hope, because now that you got a city named after you, you're going to hear your name said wrong 72,000 times if I'm saying it wrong now, Yeah, let's just skirt right by here. And this is going to be semi-painfully expensive. Oh, you know what? I didn't click auto build. That's all right. So we'll come right up over the hill here. Why don't we stay a little bit far away from where we'll build things, because then we'll put in a power transformer, right? So now that we're coming from there, why don't we spend all of our dollars, and give me a minute here, I'll catch up on your chats. So I'm just going to spend our dollars on this since we now know we're going to be buying whatever electricity in rubles. It'll be a little bit safer, I think. All right, let me catch up on the chats for a second. Ron Howard's wife is like very white looking, like he is. Like I don't know if they're both English or what they are, but no, I his daughter is not in any way Mercedes Hispanic, and yeah, we could try to. Like I said, this series is more about what everybody votes for, right? So sometimes there's been a little bit of conflict, I think, where people don't get what they want because they come here expecting, I think a little bit, sometimes they expect what they want to be done. But this is a democratic socialist republic when we do the live stream, in other words. That's the way I like to look at it, anyhow. I would like to put in, now all of this stuff is costing us money, right? So I would like to put in, because I always do, a high voltage switch, because it just seems like anytime you put something down, you're going to need a high voltage switch, right? So let's get in a high voltage switch where I think it'll work. Yeah, that shouldn't be too tight a turn, right? No, good. And then after that, we'll put in our transformer. We'll keep it close because there's no reason for it to be long. I think as long as you're within one pole length, it's not going to cost you any more money, but it's also a matter of just taking up more room. So there we go. So we'll have a switch to go off with our power from other places. Let's purchase all of that with Yeah, I should probably just put on the, yeah, purchase this with dollars. Yeah, so Nino, maybe it's addressing your thing too. Some of it is, I think I've been too, with the delay in the chats, I've been too weighty for everybody to express their opinions. I think has made some of the live streams like significantly slower. Here, let's just play this forward. Now that we know we're not going to mess up our population. Does that make sense? Well, good. I'm glad I got the name pretty close anyhow. Yeah, I do have an accent compared. I guess everyone has an accent compared to everyone else, right? Either that or only I don't have an accent in English. One of the two. All right, so there we go. So we got our power built. And I think what I would like to do right off the bat is we're going to need to get this town, set up. Oh, we got some people over here too. And I think just right off the bat, I want to get rid of like all of this just because it's just a mess of huts. So I don't think it would be inappropriate for the Soviet to come in and just say, let's build ourselves like one. Do we want the biggest building? This one's a little bit higher quality. I'm not sure how much difference that makes. This is like the highest quality one that you can get. So why don't we, since we're plopping down, and I think what I'd like to do is this road, yeah, how are we going to do, just take a quick look to see how we'll do the roads, right? So let's just say, I kind of want to build it where there isn't anything else. This will be like the outskirts. Yeah. Are we going to try to be on the grid? What does the grid look like? Oh, no, don't get citizens. We could use that move. Yeah, you know what? Move people randomly in, right? Assuming that doesn't cost us any money. What is this? Oh, is that how many of them? Yeah, that's definitely new. Or newer that where I haven't noticed it. Then again, I've been not buying citizens because I have so many in the regular stream. I was going to put on the wireframe. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna build this even with the wireframe, like that. And then I want to get rid of. We don't need all these roads. So this one road will head out of town, but then we'll take all these people and put them in there. So let's. Oh yeah, you know what? We're gonna build this one. Dollars. And then we're gonna not build this one. And not build that one. All right, so let's get that built relatively quickly. And then I could just move all these people out of there. I think all of them will fit. There's not too many in these houses. But then we'll have to stay paused for a minute just while we lay out like a little bit of a supply area. Oh, you know what? We just sucked in all those people from all over the map. So let's... Yeah, I don't think there's any real easy way to do this. Let's move this all the way over. Oh, okay, good. So this house is empty. Destroy it. This house has 2. Relocate. Oh, I'll destroy it. Yeah, so this is a little bit tedious here, but all right, hit destroy it. Yeah. So that one's destroyed. Oh, I can tell which ones are destroyed because look, it's changing the ground underneath of them. That's good. See that? It turns it brown, so that's good. All right, you know what? Let's get this over on the other side because it seems to be blocking my view every time. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. We'll just get many of these relocated as we can. So that'll get us some decent population in here. At least in one building. All of them in this square are demolished. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, this is why I'm not a musician, amongst many reasons, but... Alright, so... relocate, destroy... Yeah, well, we don't... People here don't... Like, that's one thing... I hear people make comments sometimes about the game. There's really no money in the game, like amongst the people, right? Like the people just get stuff. That's what makes it. And really, when you think about it, I think a good number of the video games out there, like you really do actually have like a Soviet economy. Like there's no money changing hands for our people. It's just us buying stuff from the outside world. Let's see, can I get this at a different angle where it doesn't cover up? You know what I need to do? Yeah, let's go over this way. We could put this back over here, and then that way this house stays in our view and doesn't get covered up by whatever house we just selected, right? Like the menu. There we go. So anyway, I think there's a fair number of games out there that seem like they're probably, well, this is a pat of pain. If I had to do this very often, I'd definitely be on the Steam forum requesting a tool, you know? And it's hard for me to talk while I'm doing it because as soon as I start talking, I start messing up. So the church is going to stay there, of course. Now, I guess we can't build more churches, so if they... But I don't think you really need churches, like, not to keep people minimally happy, you know? All right, great, brown spot, brown spot. Yeah, I'm glad they do kind of mark these for destruction for us. At least that makes it a little bit easier. Hello, Steve. Welcome. And Radomir. Everybody's coming at once. Welcome. So we're just going around. We decided to start over closer to where our oil is. If you guys were watching the last series or live stream. And now I'm just tediously going through and getting rid of all of these houses. But I have to go get like each person out of it first. Yeah, see those? That one's not deleted yet. Now it does turn it brown underneath of there, so and then if I click on it, it also doesn't. Let me click again, so that's kind of good too. But for the last what feels like half hour, I've been clicking on all these little houses just to get rid of them all. And we've got this one up to 163. So there's a new feature that I didn't know we had before. Now I could play time forward and yeah, I think there's just a few more on this road. Let me zoom out a bit so that I can not get my view blocked. So this start will be slightly easier. Not necessarily easy, but we're still on hard mode. But it should be slightly easier than our last one. Let me read the chats for a second. No. You know what Rever was when I first started EverQuest. When it, like EverQuest 1 when it first came out. And, like, it's just better to have like shorter name. And I don't know if it auto selected it or if there was like a name that had popped up, and I just, like shortened it, and I could get like it's at the time, EverQuest was like pretty popular, and I was just looking for like any 5-letter name, like just so that, just because it was, easier for people to type and whatnot. Like, you didn't have to have OU812 at the end of the end, or anything like that. So no great significance. Just one of those things that, I kind of got. And then, like just kept using it after that on whatever other online things. And then when I did this, this is an online thing, right? All right, so there we go. I think we got rid of all of those houses. So I'm going to play forward just a little bit so they all like actually disappear. Look at all those people. Come on, disappear houses. Look at them. Look at the whole train of people. I guess they're going to church, huh? Do you see them? Okay, the houses have disappeared. Okay, good. So now we can go by and start deleting, which should be a little bit less painful, all these footpaths. Yeah, well, it's a fine name. It's it is what it is. It's not, but it's not some no priesthood here for me. Nothing along those lines. So we're gonna have to get those people seem to be really anxious to go someplace, and about the only place they're going to be going is going to be church, right? All right, so we get rid of all these, then we can get rid of the roads. Where does this road go? Nowhere? Yeah, just off into nowhere. Now, I think we want to do a little better than dirt trails, right? And we can purchase some of this. Well, we can purchase whatever we want with, with rubles. It's just a matter of everything that we purchase is going to cost us money. So what I'm thinking of is we do like a gravel road just sort of off of this one. Can we get out this way? No, of course not. How about... No, it doesn't really like... Yeah, see, now all of a sudden it did. Okay. So if we come down this way... All right, we're going to try to work this church into the mix there. We'll probably end up having to redo that road, but at least it gets us. So... I'm thinking that we make like the center of town like right here, right? Just because why not? We don't want to get too close to over here because that's where our oil is. So, yeah, why not? It's as good a place as any other, right? Yeah, let's take a better look. Where exactly is the oil? Just to make sure. Yeah, it's kind of all the way over here. So, if we made this the center, I don't think we would really... the oil doesn't need to have much more than oil rigs on it anyway. So... yeah, we could put the oil rigs. We want to keep them kind of close to town because the less busing we do, the better, right? Of people, that is. So, we could have the industry, right up over here, sort of. And I think this is far enough away that if we had some houses around the outskirts there. Now, how many people did we end up in here? 171. So we've got a fair number of people. So, having said what I just did, let's take another road and sort of form a bit of a box, right? So in that way, we'll make it too big for no reason. And I'm not sure it matters what we put where, but would definitely like to allow for future, even though it might not make the most sense for us, but Like, in other words, if we put the store down, I definitely would like to try to allow for like a parking space kind of thing, right? So that, because otherwise you can't really supply these things that well, especially not this shopping center. So we'll come here. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to put this road cargo station in. Yeah. Keep it as close as we think we can build an actual little thing, right? And let's make sure before we commit to anything. Yep, there we go. So I'll just click that. All right, so there we go. So that will allow for future, and I'm not even going to build the road to it, right? We can do that later if we actually end up using this. Right now, we'll just purchase things directly into there. Now, what else do we want? We need more happiness. More happiness. So we definitely would want a pub. Pub is like, in some ways, should be your last concern. Like, it's, because they can get alcoholism. So it's often something that I'll put, like a little bit further out of the way, though. I don't want to start going too far. Like, we can maybe jam it in over here after having said that. Yeah, because, like there would be our pub. And isn't the tennis court a little bit smaller than the football field? And we could put the tennis court. Can't build due to, what are we? Oh, we're red on the pub. Here, let's do a little leveling action. We can't do leveling action unless we build a construction office, which would really be sort of a smart thing to do, huh? Well, let's lay down the rest of these buildings. We don't really need it to be that close to that. Now, football, is that bigger? I don't think it makes much difference. Let's leave enough room. We can get that past there. Right, and then the last thing we would need is a bit of a cinema. Yeah, we need... we need to plop down that construction office. What I was hoping to do is, if the cinema's right here, each one of these I think is 10 meters. Right, so let's go ahead and get to our measuring tool, also known as the substation. So from this building to about where our cinema will be like 160 feet, right? From this building to here, 160 feet or so. So they're going to have to walk, that far. So we wouldn't want, I don't want that to be, I think we could get like another building in here. So let's just like ghost image the building over it for a second. And why don't we, we'll just, again, I don't even want, I want to put it around like this, just where we would have it. Oh, it attached anyway and busted up our road. Forgot about the little things. I was just going to destroy that anyway. And then what I want to do is put like a road, like say here, that'll help form a bit of like a box of houses. Like we could have, more houses here. I guess we can leave that there, but now it's facing the wrong direction, right? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Play pause. And get rid of those. Yeah, I guess we could probably even think about putting in another, except I really don't, we're not going to have too many people. I don't want to feed too many people in this town until we get our money going, if that makes sense. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, though, is, well, church, I don't think they need the church if we get them all their other stuff. So here's what I'm thinking. Like, we put our cinema down, but first we need to get our construction thing going, right? Just so we can level a little ground. So let's get a construction office. And every time I put down a construction office, I always put down a gas station. because these guys are always going to the gas station. Should we put the gas station on the main road, right? So that anybody driving by can easily get to it. And yeah, see, this is on a little bit more of a hill going down than it looked like. All right, well, I really should have this checked by with dollars, right? Hopefully, we'll see. All right, so let's buy this with dollars. The road cargo state. Oh, no, never mind. We don't want that. We want the small shopping center. We want the road for the small shopping center. We want the pub. And that should keep them happy for slight times. Now, they're not going to be too happy that we took away their path to the church, are they? We need to get this road built. We need to get this road built. Get all these roads built. Yeah, it would be nice if there was I have it checked off now, right? And a gas station. Let's hit play until that stuff's in place so that we can at least buy a bulldozer and an excavator, right? Did we build this little road? No. There we go. And do we have these? Yes, they are purchasing, so when people decide to come out to work, they can, and now we can be able to come in here and yeah, we're gonna have to buy an excavator. Always get the fastest one. And a bulldozer. Good. So now we can come over here finally. Oh, that's see, that's why one of the reasons I take that off is because even though it's a pain to check it all, it's more of a pain to waste all of our dollars on something that's free, right? All right, so let's see. Is that enough to get in our cinema? Yeah, but let's spin it around. All right, there we go. So now let's put in a couple footpaths because if nothing else, we need them for. We're gonna need them for this. Is that a soccer field? I think football field, as you guys call it in Europe. Yeah, somebody was talking about nuclear power, fission reactor versus fusion reactors. Really? You were looking so promising there for a minute. And said it's football shaped. And I went, no, it's not. It's just my reaction. It's not a football. It's just a regular ball. It's basketball shaped, right? There we go. So that should make it a little bit easier for them to get the things. We're not going to be able to get past here, but at least they can wrap around that way. And yeah, do we do just because we're... Those are actually a little bit more expensive than you would think, but they really do like footpaths. If they can get there, that makes a difference. So it might not make a difference for this building, but they do like them some footpaths. All right, good. So since we're on hard mode, oh, you know what? Let's purchase all those with dollars. And since we're on hard mode, we definitely want to get them we need to get them happy. Like we can't mess around with happiness, or else they'll be leaving us before you know it. All right, so now they should be able to get down there. And yeah, we could put like a house in here, right? Anybody have any opinions about this? A T3 tram tainted by imperialist upgrades. Uh-oh. right, so what do you think? Another house in the middle. And then we're going to need a bus station. We're going to need to get our construction area going there, right? So let's let's just build whatever house. See, these have prefab panels. We're not going to have prefabs. I want to see what brick house. There is a nice, yeah, see, this is, I think, the best brick house as far as quality goes. And it doesn't need prefab. So let's take a look at what that looks like. And it holds a fair number of people, but it's a little bit fatter, I guess, than that other one. Can't build. Okay, let's turn the control. Yeah, I really like that they fixed the mouse thing here where you can hit control and rotate slowly. So there we go. So now we'll have that. Now this one I don't necessarily think we should maybe we should build this. Well, again, we're kind of getting close to our limit with people here, so it would be kind of nice to be able to get them in there, but I don't know. We don't have to build it right this second anyway. The reason I did that was to see about getting a road a little bit closer to here and how that would work. Does that make sense? Like, because I do want to get this church hooked back up pretty quickly here. Right? Does that make... the road's not really straight. Can I go a little bit closer? Yeah, right. So now we can take a footpath. Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of your footpath altogether. And we're just going to put one like this and hope. No, there we go. I see it. Right? So let's buy that for dollars. Are you playing? Are you playing the game? And how is it going for you? And yeah, I think in the very beginning, you didn't make it hard enough if it's too prosperous, right? All right, so now let's have a little bit of a vote. Now that we've gotten that, going, I guess we could. Yeah, now that's really. What are we missing? We got sport. We got all the stuff they would need. We're missing a firehouse. We really don't want to forget about firehouse, do we? Now let's come in here since it's free to do. I'm not going to level too much in this, but it doesn't hurt either to a certain extent, right? Yeah, just to get it. So what I'm kind of picturing is, I don't know exactly how big a firehouse is, but yeah, see, yeah, let's see, can we take this road straight, and then could we fit the firehouse in? It doesn't, I know this doesn't need to be right near town, but since we're kind of planning on building on both sides of town, what I'm thinking is we put that guy there just as a guide. This road can stay at a little bit of a funny angle. It's not too big an angle, and I'm sure we could fit different buildings in there. So what am I doing? Firehouse. Yeah, it's oh, I see. Yeah, the game doesn't always do. Yeah, let's go back to roads. Cancel this. See how it's not level. I wasn't patient enough. I think is what happened. School, kindergarten, excellent thinking there. Thank you. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to put a kindergarten right on this corner. Because kindergartens, I think, tend to fill up. Yeah, why is it leveling down so much there? Oh, I think it's that when you hold it thing. See, and this is where sometimes this terrain tool is actually better for when you're, again, you could almost think of it like the smoothing tool. See what I mean? Like when you do want something to follow a hill, this one does a better job of following the hill, right? Like it just does a better job smoothing things than the other one. But there we go. So that might make this a little bit steep. But let's go ahead and get the school, yes. What I'm thinking of is schools and church go together often, right? We can pretend that it's like a little Catholic school. Yeah, I'd rather. You know what, why don't we do this? I don't want. It's going to connect there anyway. Yeah, I mean, this guy would fit in here nicely if he was. Yeah. You know what? I could actually do him like. See, still, I'm trying to avoid getting a. Yeah, he's more square than he looks. I guess there's a parking lot there or something. Oh, heck with it. We'll just do him right here, right there, as close as I can. There we go. Now, can I still get this road past? Building in the way. Get it just about. There we go. All right, good. So, yeah, we need, and we're going to go ahead and just purchase these. So this will be a kindergarten for the people that live in this end of town. And then, yeah, purchase. And then we'll put the school. Oh, I don't know if it'll fit right there. Yeah, there's our cinema. I don't think it's going to fit in between those two. Is that a good eye or what? Like, it's just not enough. As a matter of fact, it's so just not enough that I think, I don't know. Let's just get rid of this. And can I get it? Can I get the road back in there now? Some other infrastructure's in the way. Yeah, I was afraid of that. We'll just move the school down a little bit more. Play pause. Yeah, so let's just. Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't that. It was this in the way. Okay. I hate to. We're gonna very carefully. We're gonna very carefully go get this other tool. There we go. Now, can we? Yeah, just gonna take that road just a little bit over. Yeah, so it was that other thing. It wasn't that this wouldn't work. It was that. All right, so now let's go back to roads. And then the only other problem I have is, nope. Yeah, there you go. Right. You know what? We're just going to purchase that with dollars, which should get this purchased. We're going to purchase this with dollars. This should already be, yep, running. Did we purchase our kindergarten? Yep, should be running. And then we'll put our firehouse right up here, which makes a little more sense with this road anyhow. Yes. Sorry, Radomir, you saw that 2 seconds later. Now I got to put my pathway to the church back in there. Yeah, I caught up with you It's the delay in the chat. You would have been in time to save me some aggravation, except for the delay in the chat. All right, so let's get this firehouse put in. And I kind of definitely want it on this road if we can get it on this road. Nope, did it not build the road there? Is it too close to build a road? Yeah, gosh darn it. It's a little frustrating because I thought it looked like it had a road there, right? And I really wish I know I've said that too many times. I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but now that yeah, you know what, I was a little bit more worried about, I see what happened. Yeah, there we go. I was more worried about jamming it down here. It doesn't need to be jammed in that tight. People will be able to walk over there for work just fine. And let's tell them to actually build it. Good. What do you guys think? Do we have everything now? We have the school, we have a kindergarten, firehouse. And then what I'll plan on eventually is like another kindergarten down this way, right? And the school's going to be kind of far if we put too many houses up here. I don't know how many houses we're really ever going to have. And a bus stop. Yeah, well, now we can start talking about the construction things. Let me slow down for a minute and see if you guys have any opinions on whether we should start with like bricks and coal and maybe even our own power plant. Remember, one of our rules is that we're not going to be able to sell power, but just because we can't sell it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. And then the other thing is, do we want to talk about, well, what do we want to start with first, right? This is a pretty good starting location. We got, probably want to leave, I'll show you where the coal is. If we click the right thing. So we got our coal like all the way up over here. Obviously we don't have a lot of money, but we want to get coal down out of these hills. We could obviously do gravel. There looks like would be some, this looks like a fairly decent gravel area if we want to do a quarry. Obviously coal up here. So I would say my thoughts would be we don't really want to put anything else there because if we left this kind of area for oil and this for whatever we did with our coal, a brick factory, a power plant. Now we have this flat area up here, which is kind of interesting. And I didn't really necessarily look around for iron. Do we have any iron? Getting steel going is wonderful, but you definitely kind of probably want to find an area that has. Yeah, no, we don't have any iron in this region. It's not like we're going to necessarily be building a steel mill around here. So then, like we've said before, we have our oil down in this area. And I know at one point Pietro's was really wanting us to get the oil going first, which I don't, again, really doesn't matter to me too much. Obviously, if we were to look at our list on the economy here, being in the middle of the map, I think we calculated that it's going to cost us like $300 a trip for the fuel to go export things. So anything that's like, let's say the truck's going to hold like 10 tons. So anything under $30 on this list is really probably not even worth exporting if you can ship 10 tons of it at a time. So we need to build a depot too, don't we? We can look in here for stuff. So like, let's just look at the oil. Where's the oil? Oh, it won't let me build. Oh yeah, we need to get a depot, don't we? Yeah. So the point being, I don't think you can take 10 tons necessarily with those oil trucks, can you? So in other words, it may not even be worth exporting just the oil. Like, you may be spinning a lot of tires for not a lot of profit. So let me know what you guys think about what you want to start with. I'm going to take a sip of tea here. Okay, so Radomir thinks coal and bricks. Anybody else have an opinion out there? I would say coal, bricks, and leaving the possibility for power, right? So in other words, whatever we build our coal into, we should allow for some kind of a system to divide it up between the power. And really, when you're doing that kind of dividing up, what we could think about is, what if we thought about like cement? Because we could do like a quarry over here, right? Wouldn't be too bad to get a quarry over here with a gravel processor. And then now all of a sudden we have cement as well as, the gravel's a good one to get just for when you go to start expanding. Fortunately, we're not going to have to build a lot of roads to get a bunch of industries in. So gravel's a little bit lower on my list, but when you start looking at what an asphalt plant and a concrete plant and cement plant needs, gravel starts coming up an awful lot in the conversation. Hey, Foxy Cool, welcome. Yeah, one of the things I think we're going to have to do here, and a little bit jumping the gun, but is we need to get like all of this stuff done. But one of the reasons I'm asking this question now is like, do we want to, like, we're going to have our own little coal source here. It's not going to be the world's most impressive. It's just not that great a coal source. But do we want to lay these things out in such a way that we would get a cement plant and get a quarry over here, right, with the ore processing? So we have gravel ore going into a cement, and we could have, like, theoretically all of this conveyor fed if we do a real good job of lining everything up, right? Yeah, a train track could certainly be arguably good. How much would a train track cost us? Because we only have this much money, right? Like, will it, like, let's put it this way. Are we better off getting another industry versus building a train track? Now, you are absolutely right as far as how we start. It's too far to truck it up here. We're going to have to get some stuff paved to get closer, right? We're going to have to move. We're going to have to get a gas station, say, over here, which one of our rules is that we have to pave the road before we can run power from this spot, right? Now, by the way, we don't have to like follow the road. So if we say we're going to build a construction office here, we can build the construction office, but before we actually run power, we need to pave up to this point. Okay, I'm just trying to read your comments there to make sure I catch up on it. So yes, I don't. At this minute, yeah, we could see we can kind of lay out a railroad track roughly, right? Because the bridge alone is going to cost us. Yeah, we're going to have to get a bridge across someplace, and we're going to have to get across a lot of mountains. Well, the mountains aren't, we can level the mountains, but, it's going to be kind of like it's going to just be tough to get another export route going. You know what I'm saying? Like, just if you look at all those mountains in the way of here and here. Now, we don't have to go that way, right? We could go to some other Soviet port, right? Like this one. Yeah, see, I think we'd actually, this does have a train connection up here. I think we'd be better off going this way, like a lot more flatter-ish land. As far as for like putting in another route goes. I think I'd want to somehow skirt past this town. And for those of you who joined a little bit later and didn't watch the very beginning, I did an experiment. It seems that people who, if you build a new house like this one, you have to keep their needs met. But when I built a road, like I didn't build one in this town, but when I built a road across, some like paved some of this, it didn't affect these people. These people just stayed with the same things they were unhappy about up here, as opposed to like if you were to look at our workers here, which probably haven't had see how they have more. We don't have power. We don't have a church. We don't have a kindergarten. They demand more things as soon as you put this one thing in, then they want all the things, if that makes sense. So it's really, and by the way, I also built an empty house over in a town. So like just imagine plop a house down here. That doesn't affect this house. It's only when this house gets its first taste of foreign goods, in a sense, that it really wants more foreign goods. So I mention all that because we could, I think, no problem build a railroad track past here, and it's not going to cause these people to become unhappy and flee the country, right? So yeah, I guess our debate will be a railroad track here, and let's just, well, you know what? We're getting, not that it's off the subject, but we're not ready to export anything because we're not even making anything. So you guys can think about that. We'll either deal with it towards the end of this live stream, or maybe next week. We can, let's get, a general idea of what we're going to do here. So let me read some more chats real quick. Yep, Radomir, we could definitely keep the cost down. Yeah, and Foxy Cool, you're absolutely right. Ports, I think they're not opposed to that, if I'm remembering right. Like, in other words, from what I understand, they're not opposed to putting ports in the game. Like, I think there's some things on the no, we're not going to do it. Like, they have like no, we're not going to do multiplayer. Let's turn off this wireframe for a second. See our town. Okay, so let's get towards, I think I'm definitely hearing that we want to do coal, and I have no problem with asphalt and cement, but what I would like to do is think about it as I usually do, in a very logical manner, or at least I like to think I do. What if we said we're going to put a quarry up in this area at one point, right? And then what we need to do is we need to get gravel whether we build that or not. So we don't want to be right up on it because then it's hard to get the roads out. So I'm thinking, let's see, how far away are we? If we were to put our ore processing, like say in this area somewhere, I think we could get a few quarries in here and get the roads into them. So let's just go and see. We'll just start with this because I want to show you what I'm thinking of. So like here's a gravel processing plant, right? And we would have the output of it like be here. Yeah. It's getting pretty steep right there. Let's just do a little bit of building leveling just so we can plop this down. And we need to get the road on the other side of it. Now let's zoom in so you guys can see better, in case you're watching on your mobiles, which I know some people do. I'll just cut into the hill a little bit, enough that we, I don't want this sticking way into town. But we know one day that we will have the ability to get our own gravel from here, right? As Radomir's saying, that'll help with the cost. So it sounds like and if anybody's opposed to the idea, and I'm certainly not, we will try to build a train track probably to that place. We don't have to decide right now, but let's just come a little bit further so we know we can. We can level out a road there one way or the other, right? So there we go. So we know if we put our ore processing there, we would get a. What if we got a large aggregate storage, and this we might actually really build, right? So let's do a little bit of leveling. I want my wireframe back. Just. When these things are level, you can get them all closer. Yeah, I think maybe what we'll do is we'll cheat it over this way, right? Yeah, that's awful level there. That's very level. All right, very good. So let's do large aggregate storage where we know that that conveyor will hook up, and we'll cheat it this way so that we can get in our asphalt, and we could probably keep it a little bit closer. All right. So then we would have, we need to get in. Now, if we got a concrete plant, it's going to need cement, but cement can be trucked in. So what I'm thinking is somewhere over here, we would have our cement plant, right? And then over this way, the asphalt plant needs bitumen, and that's pretty flexible how we can get that in there. Concrete plant, concrete plant and prefab panels. Prefab panels are nice, and they need gravel as well. So again, I'm not saying we're going to build those now, but just trying to keep in mind everything we'd want. This is where gravel comes in so nice, right? Because you end up using it for asphalt, you end up using it for the concrete, you end up using it for the prefabs, you end up using it for the cement plant. Yeah, so what if we said that the prefab panels and the cement plant would go over here on this side and be able to take their gravel off this way, and then we had our concrete plant will be over this way. Yeah, we could put that on either side as long as we can get the... do we want to try to do this? And then what I'm thinking of is we'll have our cement. We can have a cement storage eventually. Let's kind of keep it a little bit close. And then, so that would fit right there. Let me just do one thing real quick. How would our asphalt plant work? Let's turn it this way so I can, we might keep it on a little bit of an angle. And then where does the bitumen come in? I can't see it because it's being blocked. The bitumen would come in the front, which is fine. We could have a tank over this way, right, with a pipe, even if we had to jump a road eventually. If we, again, we don't need to do all that stuff. I'm going to tilt it this way a little bit just so that, this is just so I think I can get a conveyor. Let's make sure I can get a conveyor to that. How does this, is this everybody agreeing? Well, Justin, I guess it depends on your outlook. I'm American. I don't think money has me. I'd say, you could live in any country, and if you want to make money so important to yourself, you can, just because you're in America doesn't mean money's that important to you. I mean, if you think the government being in control of your life is a better way to do it, I guess, I'd suppose. I'd rather have the freedom. All right, so anyway, there we go. Now, so we would want, do we get the storage here? No, let's go and let's get a storage for cement. Now, we're not going to necessarily build this. Where's the road in and out of here? Yeah, that's fine, right? Yeah, we wouldn't want the road coming out the other way. Let's see if we can't get that guy. Again, this is more of a placeholder at this moment. And let's go to here and make sure this can connect. And then we'll come back over to here. Oops. Are you not going to connect after I did all that? Yeah, I thought it would. Good. So there's our asphalt and cement plants, right? And then we can just do our purchasing from like we can purchase gravel into this gravel yard to supply these two. Same thing, we can purchase bitumen until, we could put a bitumen tank or something out here. Or, again, the pipes are really flexible, so we could kind of put them, heck, we could put the bitumen tank over here if we needed to, right? And just run a pipe over. And then this will be where we get our concrete from. And then our cement tank will be here, just more, again, as a placeholder than anything else. But eventually we could, you know, when we have a cement plant, we could drive some trucks over there. Yeah, I don't see us necessarily putting the cement plant here. Though there could be, we'll see. We're not really talking about building a cement plant this instant anyway. Yeah, well, yeah, we can, yeah, we could talk about it. You know, like, I don't know if there's another big city that will, I think the cement, the prefabs could be better served close to the cement. So, yeah, we'll have to find another place that we can get coal. So, yeah, you know, the only other thing is the prefabs are nice for up all the railroad tracks, right? Like we're deciding almost to build a timber so we can build the cheapest rail, when the problem with the rail is really is the steel. Like, I don't know, like, you know, it's fine to build the wood based, right? But it's the steel that's the expensive part. It's not whether or not you use boards and gravel. Come on, turn red, or yellow is good enough. Like, in other words, well, the electrical tracks are a different story with the electrical components. But see, it's the price of the steel that's really the killer. Like, the prefab panels versus the wood, I don't see that as being like the biggest killer. It's that $500 plus a ton of steel that the steel ends up costing you. That's the tough thing. All right. So anyway, so we're gonna do. So this is just necessary for, you know, this is checking off boxes here. So we now have asphalt and concrete. We haven't done anything, so nothing's harmed. You know, no animals have been harmed in the filming of this video. Like, you know, whether we build and use this other side of the gravel thing, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, we could build our prefabs wherever, we could build our cement plant wherever, but we kind of have the possibility of doing it here. And considering we have coal coming out of here, it's an option, right? Again, you don't have to do all your plans, but it doesn't hurt to not eliminate them for no reason. Like, why make it harder on yourself in the future? So let's come over here and get see how the iron, I'm sorry, and now I'm switching back. I don't know if you've watched the videos. I keep calling them iron mines, coal mines, and coal mines, iron mines. All right, so we want to put it, yeah, I don't know. Does anybody, I'm not like the master of placing these things, but does anybody know, are you better off, like, see how there's little tiny ones? I know that I've noticed that, like, I think it's only the bigger dots. I kind of wish they made a difference. Like, see how, let's zoom in if we can. See how some of these are kind of bigger and then some are smaller? Like, the ones that are relatively close, and then, like, about where those rocks really start up. Like, are you better off, like, being right on top of this or encapsulating more? I would think it would be encapsulating as many in the bigger, you know, the slightly larger squares. I wish they would, like, maybe even change the shape where it would be, you know, because some of them are like construction squares. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it doesn't go that whole distance. All right. So anyway, so I think I'm going to go for like in other words, if I built right here, I'm kind of gathering more, but I'm right on top of the red. And if I build over here, you know, I'm a little more greenish, yellowish, but I'm not, you know, I'm not necessarily covering as much of this. See how those are like much bigger squares there? You know, like, it almost seems like if I put it right here, that would be the best place maybe. All right, well, we'll find we're all in a minute. So I think I'm going to go with like here, right? Just because we'll hedge our bet on what it is. So let's zoom in. Sometimes, yeah, we're not building with dollars, so let's just Yeah, just turn enough of it brown that when I get rid of this guy. Yeah, see, this is the exact kind of case you kind of want to maybe come here, make this guy real small. Let's start like here. And then expand it out a little bit. And then when you get so far that this tool won't work anymore, which is pretty far in, you can then finish it off with a little bit of building leveling, right? Yeah, say like this starts getting slow or not doing anything because it's like too much slope for that tool to be allowed. And then you come in here. You need to spin this guy around so the conveyors go in the other direction. Yeah, mines can produce a small, tons of stuff. Yeah, there's no doubt. Reading your off the rails, and welcome off the rails. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, the getting the people in here. Well, we're a little bit fixed in this playthrough. That's one of the reasons we make a few rules to make it a little extra challenging. Sorry about that. And in part of making those rules is we're not allowed to start like new towns. So we're not going to allow ourselves just to build like a community up here real close to the coal mine to give it that added challenge of having to bus to places. Now, we can expand our town further and further out this way, but we will, when it comes to something like this coal mine, we're going to have to, to bus people up here. So I'm thinking, yeah, let's not go nuts about this. I'm going to turn it this way a little bit because I think I can still get in. Still get in the road. But then we have this conveyor pointing out this way, a little bit closer to this way. Though we still might need to do something. Well, you're the one giving the tips, so we appreciate it off the rails. But hopefully you'll get some tips and tricks. I've been playing for a little while, and so quite a few people here are usually real helpful. So let's see. So we don't forget, if nothing else, we're gonna need a ore processing plant, right? And this could kind of work out, couldn't it? Other than we can't build it there without a little leveling action. So we'll take it down here, but these conveyors are pointing out this way. Yeah, and then if we were to do prefab like a cement plant, it would, be in this neighborhood. So maybe we keep this guy a little bit further up here like this. So let's see about leveling enough in this vicinity to at least be able to place that guy, right? Yeah, no, it's a different city builder off the rails. I really enjoy it. I'm crossing the 500-hour mark. The last time I looked, I was over 400, and that was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I love all of the building I do is with the construction office. I mean, we're seeing me build some things because if you don't in the very beginning, like if we don't get them their happiness components, then they're going to be in tough shape, right? Like they're just not going to live. They're all going to escape on you. So you do have to get to a certain point here. And some of this stuff we need to start doing with the time playing, I think, now that I think about that too. All right, yeah, so we got that where it will turn yellow. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the game. I like the You know, when I was a kid playing with the trucks in the dirt or whatever, like I was always the type that pretended building the things, you know? Like it wasn't, you know, and I just like the fact that it's not all magically placed down. It adds like a whole nother layer of challenge to the game. All right, so now what I want to do is let's come over here. Here's a little trick if you haven't done it yet, but there's a conveyor up here on this guy, and road leveling is just kind of uber powerful. So we can usually sometimes cheat this guy down. Nah, in this case, it's not going to let us. You know, you can sometimes get it to go the right distance. And see how that turned yellow for a half a second? Sometimes you keep getting it. This is just too much of a slope. So the best thing to do then is probably just shrink this tool up. And the reason I'm doing this is just so that that conveyor can come down into here without problems. All right, so ore processing plant. Yeah, the other thing is, once you put a building down, you can't level like the next square, and you get some goofiness, which is really a problem with the road. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of extra for this road to come out there. Okay, so now can we get a conveyor from up there? It could be that building, you know, but I think there's enough settlements around, and I think it adds the challenge of, you know, of busing, especially, you know, in the beginning here. I guess it would depend on what you can find where, you know, like would be part of it too, right? But it certainly, you know, adds to the challenge. I guess it's a matter of opinion as to what's challenging enough, or, you know, I mean, the game's not getting boring for me, but, you know, like at some point when you get good enough at it, it's a matter of making it more and more and more challenging, right? It's like, well, I already did that and I know I could do it again, kind of thing. So there's just not that much challenge to some of the game for me. All right, so now what we need, well, let's see this. We're gonna build this with people, and I'm interested in getting the layout going, but I think we should also focus on keeping moving rather than working out the details that I know will work out, right? Like we need to get a road down here and a road here. So in placing this here, we know we'll have an output here, and then somewhere over in this area, let us level out. You know what, I'm just going to lower some of this hill. I can just see it's kind of really sticking up. So we would have another aggregate storage here for our coal ore, right? Just to have a bit of a buffer. And a bit of a distribution point as well. Yeah, the small aggregate storage, I really wish it was small and had two outputs, right? Yeah, hopefully one day they'll allow modding and we can get more. It would just be nice to have more variations on our buildings here. So let's level out enough that we know we can get the road in here. And even possibly conveyors out the other side if that ever came down to it. Now, do we want to get, what I'm thinking of is, I'm thinking maybe we try to get the road between these two buildings. So let me push this one up closer to the ore processing, just so we know we can get the conveyor past there, right? like that? There you go. We'll just building level that right on up as far as it'll let us go. And then that'll mean that these conveyors will be kind of like way in the air, hopefully. And then we could get a road right underneath of that. All right, let's put this guy out here where we know the road will fit. Yes, yeah, we can get the output split other ways. I also like the larger ones for these because they, you know, it just helps you build up that much extra coal, especially if we might have multiple industries using the same thing. And then the other thing is about those conveyors is they cost more money. Like they're not overly expensive, but they're not necessarily cheap either. So the less conveyors that you can run, the better. There we go. See, now we could get a road right through there. Might be a little awkward. Yeah, let's get it. Can we start here? See, there you go. No. Like I said, I just get done saying that we're not going to spend that much time worrying about that stuff, and then I sit there worrying about that stuff. All right, so let's, yeah. Anyway, you guys get the idea. I'm sure one way or the other we'll get a road over into here. We might have to do some leveling to get it done, but there we go. So now we'll have our coal output, and yeah, we may even use one of those transfer engines sometime soon here. All right, so what was the other thing we would do? A power plant and bricks. So let's just jump over to, where is our brick factory? Yeah, so what is, cement plant is pretty darn big. And cement would need both of these, which means, yeah, well, we're either going to get one or the other. And you know what, we didn't want to, so maybe like we'd end up putting it over here, the actual cement plant, which means the bricks, which only need the coal, right? Which is kind of weird. Could then go, yeah, see, I don't like when they put the conveyor in the road like in the same way. Now, is this going to block anything? No. And I think maybe what we can do, what do you think? That'll get, and we'll start pushing it in here this way, right? To where we think the conveyor wouldn't work anymore. That's not going to block our ore over there. It might block the little road if we go too far. All right, so then our coal would have a conveyor, or our, you know, there would be our bricks plant. And it's kind of screaming out to be leveled right here, I think. At least leveled a little bit. And then our power plant, yeah, so this would be, you know, just, again, a space holder for a cement plant where we could bring a conveyor down this way and our power plant could go over this way. So what I think I would do is kind of get a road up through here. All of that so I could decide where to build a road. Great. All right, come up to about here where this guy could attach. Yeah. Yeah, this road will have to come out this way somehow. Will that guy attach? No, too close. Yeah, this might need to be leveled a little bit further down. Be able to get that road in there. Oop, not paved road. Not at this point. I don't like that. Can I get it? There you go. Okay, we got to come out to like there, I think, straight. Right? And then we could kind of... Yeah, I'm not going to build that one because it'll start breaking it up into too many little pieces. Yeah, and these we're definitely going to want a road coming across here, right? Because this, we're definitely going to want to get in and out of here. Yeah, well, and I don't think it would hurt to come from like here right around, right? Oh, I missed. Does that make sense? Then these guys could kind of, get to any which one of those. If we wanted to bring in for the asphalt plant, we can, again, with the pipe won't be a problem to attach it, I don't think. And then this will be for our concrete plant. Now, do we need to get... See, I'm wondering if I shouldn't have... Here, let's do this. Let's go and hit start. Yeah, let's build this with dollars. And we'll build this with dollars. Yeah, we should attach that. And no. And that, right? Dollars. We need to build this concrete plant just because we're going to need concrete, right? So let's build that and the asphalt plant with dollars. So what do we have on our list of construction things? And let me read some of your chats too. Well, thank you, Steve. Yes, I definitely have gotten to know more of the ins and outs about where to place some stuff. Like, it doesn't mean I'm perfect, and it doesn't mean there's not other and better ways that people are doing things. It's just, and I have my own way, which is great. Everybody should. So, yeah, except we're on hard money start, and I don't want to buy too much of that kind of thing because, we really need to watch our money until we have a source of income, which we don't at the moment. We need to watch our money. We could easily run out of it. Again, thank you, Steve. I just read your second quote. I do appreciate that. And let's talk about getting them everything they need. So we're going to need a bus platform, right? And we already said we're probably going to put a few more houses in this zone here. So what if we, if we had people, what if we put our, well, I might want to bring the road out like this way. And I don't want to block that. So I guess, would that be too far for them to walk? It'd be good to have it. Yeah, I kind of want to put it right there. Maybe we just put a smaller house. Let's see. Can I get a smaller house in here? Yeah, we don't need to build this right away. I do still like my smaller houses. They're not the best quality, but you do fit the most people in with these because you can just jam in more than any of the other ones if that's your goal. We're going to get citizens, that's fine. Let's close this for a minute and go back over to roads and get a bus stop. Little bus stop's fine. Let's spin it this way. Put the people towards the... Yeah, I think that'll be plenty close to everybody. And everything we need to get construction going, I think we're going to try to buy with dollars. If we run out of dollars, this time we're not buying our power with dollars. Speaking of which, we're really not buying our power with anything at this moment, which is a bit of an issue. Yeah, I'd definitely like to get a walking path. Yeah, we're not going to get past there, but we're not going to get to there either, are we? Okay, let's do this trick. Will you attach? No, of course not. So let's see, can we get from there? There we go. Now, what are you? Oh, you're that other house. So, yeah, you could, well, you're not going to be able to attach with a walking path. Neither are you. Will you go there? Yeah, I guess that won't hurt, will it? All right, let's buy that with dollars. And, yeah, we could build some walking paths manually there, but there you go. So that will be a place for us to have workers. We'll have a place to get gravel, right? And yeah, we have the road going in and out of there, so we'll be able to buy gravel here. We have our asphalt plant, we have our concrete plant. Now we need a open storage, and I don't think we need more than one, especially not to get started, since I don't think we need more than one. So let's get storages. We'll need one of these too, but let's get the... Yeah, do we want a medium one? Let's get the large one, because I think they're not that much bigger. And I think we should just keep it, pretty darn close to, yeah, you know what? That's not going to fit in there perfect, is it? It would be nice if it would tuck in a little bit more. There we go. Right, and then where can we put one of these here warehouses? That's kind of... I think what I want to do is... Yeah, that bus stop's kind of stuck out there far too, isn't it? Why did I put it so far out there? So what I'm thinking is we actually could have like another house right here, right? Let's leave like that much room. Yeah, let's put this guy this way. What I'm debating now is, where do we attach this guy? Like, you won't fit in this way, will you? No. But you will kind of fit right there. But then the problem is, if I put a road that way, then we can't get a parking. I like the idea of the added parking. Like here, we could get another parking thing. So I think I'm going to put him on this way. Even though he's getting a little bit far away from the construction. Or do we put him on the other side of this road? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I like this. I actually kind of like this. I don't like any of it. think like, let's just put them like here. Let's turn them with the grid, even though that means they'll be a little bit further away. And the reason for all of that is, let's go up and get the roads. We'll put a road, you know, like past him. Whoa, that's not at all what I wanted to have happen. Let's level that back down. Yeah, so that's one of the weaknesses of this game. All right, let's play pause. Come in here, level all that down. Yeah, I'm certainly not in a huge rush when I play the game. And one of the things we should do is we should see how far we've spent on our things here once we get. And the reason I went through all the consternation with the warehouse is, let's level out a little bit further just so it's, is even if it's just a placeholder, let's come here and put in a road cargo thingy. I think that'll attach. Yes. See? So that way we don't have to build this right away, but these really, they have like what, 1 or 2 spots, and they just get busy really, really quick. Especially if you start dropping stuff off to them. Okay, so now this should be built. Well, we'll put it on dollars. Hopefully, I have a feeling we're not going to have enough dollars for everything we've put on dollars. All right, so let's just take another look at our construction thing. Steel, bricks, boards. Yeah, we should have everything we need to get construction going. So unless anybody has any comments, I'll wait enough to catch up with comments about something we should do. I'm going to play a little bit of time forward. Let's turn off our rather ugly wireframe for a second. And yeah, let's commit to, well, yeah, we'll commit to those things. We can always delete them. Meaning the road connections and the conveyors. Oh, we don't have power. Would be good to have power, I think. All right, so while you guys are thinking about any last minute comments, we will probably, well, no, you know what? Let's just get everything built, and then we'll worry about the power, because it'll be a little bit easier to see who has power and who doesn't. Not that we can't tell for ourselves, but like I want to see how many. I think we're going to run out of dollars. So any comments on the dollars or the, I don't know, comment on anything before I play forward time a bit. Okay, let's play forward time a little bit. Let's see, watch those dollars disappear. People are going to get stuff. Cinema's being built. Firehouse is being built. We don't have a depot. Goodbye, dollars. Done. All right, so finish it off with rubles or auto per. Oh, good, that got finished. So what got finished and what didn't? Cinema's finished. Wonderful. School's finished. Now, does school have a road to it? Or on the other side? Yeah. Well, a lot of people want to go to church, huh? Yeah, so it looks like all of this got built. We're not going to build this right away. And we didn't get these built. So let's stop. Switch over to rubles. Switch over to rubles. Well, that was the conveyor anyway. Asphalt plant, stop. Switch over to rubles. We're not going to build that. We're going to build this conveyor. Rubles. We're going to build this road. We're going to build this road. We're going to build this large aggregate storage. And you know what? And I really kind of, well, I mean, we can talk about that. You could take a vote. You know, do you want to build this road with the construction crew? They'll be able to get there, right? You know, once we get these two roads built. And that'll get built. All right, now we'll have a good idea what has power to what and where and when. Not that, again, I think we could have probably told anyway. So let's put this one down. Like as far away, yeah, we want, oh, you know what? We really kind of wanted to catch that coal mine, don't we? Yeah, how are we going to get a road out of here? If we got a road that comes down and around, why don't we get that road, said road going, then we can know where this thing will go. So we're going to go from like here. I know you'll fit. Sometimes it helps to turn that off. Yeah, we want to go a little bit further this way. No, you're going to take a lot of work to get up there, aren't you? But this really needs to be leveled down. Anyway. So the whole reason for going up there is, can we go past? Yeah, see, sometimes you can. Too big a hill. You do want to go up a little bit further though, don't you? There we go. Now can we get this guy? Yeah. Now we'll also need to get like a bus up there. Can we take a little bit off of this one? I know we got time paused again, but yeah, see, that's gonna make this one impossible. Oh, but I don't really want a paved road anyway, do I? Let's see, can we get? I don't want a paved road. Let's get rid of more of this. It's only going to let us lower this so much. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way we're getting that road. There's no way we're getting these two roads connected. Well, you know what? We can do that little cheaty thing, can't we? Yeah, it's kind of cheaty the way that works out, but now, what is this? I forget what this building is. Well, that's our brick, so that's fine. So we'll have our connection to the bricks. And what about conveyors? Where's the conveyor need to go? Yeah, that's kind of a problem too. Come on. There you go. So if this road, come on, I know you want to go through there. No. Can you go through here? Too much. Yeah, you know what? I think this is, oh wait, there we go. Yeah, well, where there's a will, there's a way, right? I'm also saying that it might be better to come around this way, but There we go. So we now got all of that in. All right, so now we have a road up to there, which means we can now go back to placing our substation someplace. Yeah, so that's too far away. You know, we don't have to kill ourselves with substations placement. Right, so if we take care of these 3 buildings with 1 substation. Oops, you know what? I didn't really see. Do we? Yeah, watch out when you don't zoom out far enough. You don't see everything that it'll cover. So actually get those 4s. So that's good. So that we can then just worry about getting. Yeah, that would even double cover a lot of it, but I don't necessarily want to double cover a lot of it. Yeah, I mean that would cover everything, wouldn't it? Do we ever build anything right here? No, I don't think we would. I'm going to leave the. Let's go and take a little dirt road. Right, I know I just broke that into other construction jobs, but there we go. So that's going to cover all of the buildings out that way. And even a couple of these. All right, try to hold it right over it. Yeah, so we won't have anything on this side, but if we, you know, what if we put one, I'm going to turn it like this way maybe. You know, this will cover like this whole side of town. I'm going to go a little bit further away like there. So that'll cover all of those buildings, and then this one, we'll just have to worry about them down in this quadrant. Yeah, this guy is already covering that. Yeah, so we're in good shape. So if we come down to like say here, I'm going to go a little further away. Yeah, because I think I lined that up with this road, or the possibility of a road. Right? Oh, that wasn't a road. That was the. Yeah, they won't pass through these things either. So that's. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's cancel that. All right, how does that look? Let's just get, since we're going to auto build these, I am going to use. Well, this one really doesn't need. Let's use this. Let's save some money, right? Well, hopefully this won't cause us any problems, but for now we'll just go connect straight up. All right, so now what are we doing? We need to get power over to here, and again, it doesn't. What I'm thinking of, just to save ourselves some money, why don't we put in. Well, why don't we cancel this little bit right there and put in a switch that would let us break off. You know what? Why don't we do a little bit bigger power here? Let's cancel all of this. And let's do the bigger ones like this. So that way we can divide into 2 smaller ones, right? Like this can go to there, and then we'll have another smaller one here. Let's stay straighter longer. Just so you know, here's a tip. You only get charged when you actually see one of these poles. Like if you look at the amount of stuff we're going to need there, like it only goes up when you see a new pole pop up. So too sharp an angle, that's fine with me. Let's go back to about here. come out of here. Will that go straight up? Yeah. All right, there we go. So there's a whole bunch of medium stuff. Let's, yeah, we need to get this power going. So let's just purchase all of this with rubles. And substation. Yeah, we really haven't spent hardly any of our rubles just yet. So, yeah, let's click on this substation, rubles. Now we need to get, now here I think I want to run the bigger power lines, right? Just because, yeah, I'm going to kind of come straight out here. And turn it. Can we go? Yeah, it's too sharp. You know what? I'm going to go back to here. That's fine. All right, so now, where was the other one? Right here, straight on in. Good. No, building in the way. What building is in the way? I don't know. Strange game sometimes. All right, so are we missing one? No, that should get us... That should get us everything we need if we go and say, go ahead and build this. Rubles. You know what we need, though? One more thing. I've said it before, is a depot. Oh, did I click on the right? Did I click on the right thing? Yeah, well, it's substation. No, see, I clicked on the road to build the road, not the thing. All right, so now a depot. You know what, depot. Well, I wanted to leave this space. Let's put our little space holder in for a road cargo station. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit awkward, isn't it? But it's green. I'll take green. All right. Make sure this will connect. There we go. Kind of commit to that. Yeah, this is a little weird with that, just the shape of this, but that's okay. So down the road, you know, we've got a little space holder so we don't forget. The road depot, yeah, I put that one right off of there. Probably, it really doesn't matter too much where we put these road depots, just as long as we can buy buses and such. Construction. Roads, right? Road vehicle depots. All right, you know what? Let's flatten even more than you expect me to. Just for the sake of it. Cool. All right, road depot. Kind of keep it as close into the corner as we can. Nice. Fill with rubles. All right, I think that's official. I think, you know, that we are now, we have a town started, right? Like, everybody should be able to get all their needs met. We have a school, we have a kindergarten. Is there anything else I'm missing? Let me play time forward for a second. And tell me what else we need as we watch our rubles go quickly down. Steve, I'm just seeing your chat now. I'm sorry. Yes, we have a firehouse. Let's make sure before we start playing time in seriousness. But yeah, there's our firehouse. What we don't have is a fire truck, which we will have to buy with rubles. I would think, you know, whatever the speed level is, and that looks like a real proper fire truck as opposed to the Scooby-Doo van with a ladder on top, right? So let's get a firehouse thing there. Now, what else do we need? Well, we're going to need construction equipment, and we're going to need, well, we have a depot anyway. I don't know that we really had to have the depot, but it's nice, if nothing else, to be able to switch your construction up at that point, right? Yes, bus stop for coal. Well, we need to build the whole coal thing anyway. So I'm just, in some ways, I'm getting to the point where I want to be able to run forward time without worrying about all of our good citizens fleeing to the nearest country and, asking for asylum. So they're without power. Oh, you know why they're, okay. We didn't actually purchase power. So let's get over here. And again, one of the rules, just so you guys know, is even if we make a power plant, we are not allowed to export power for money. So that's one of those things to make it a little bit harder. Boom. So the amount of power to purchase, you know what? You're only going to ever purchase, I don't know why, I mean, the limit thing is fine here. I guess I understand putting it in there, but realistically, you're only it's not like you're going to purchase 10 megawatts. You only purchase what you need. So I guess there's, a way of balancing more in the mid or late game. But there you go. Let me double check that I did switch that. Yeah, import purchase mode. So let's go and play time forward a little bit and just make sure everybody gets power. All right, let's click on here. Yep, we got power. We're using, all of the power is going through here. So we're using 1.2 megawatts of power. And you can also click on this and tell the same thing. Now, how much are we using over here? 0.08. So it was a, fairly good choice to use less. Now, we're not using, once we fire up some more industries, we're not using as much of that stuff. So I'm just going to pause for a second while we go and let's get these things all assigned, right? So workers from the bus oh, it doesn't connect. Oh, yeah, no, you don't, do you? All right, come here. Buy you with rubles. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's play that forward a little bit. This is why I want to check all these things. There we go. Gravel, you're going to get from here. Asphalt, you can get from there. And concrete. Yep, we got to put these on purchase. That'll be a hit of our money. And then electrical and mechanical components. Yes, if you can get set up to go back and forth between both, absolutely. All right, so let's go in here and say limit the amount. Now what we can do, well, two things. Really, when we go to purchase them, we should consider what the cost, the delivery cost is as much as anything. Now, $1 is not worth the same amount as a ruble, which makes sense in life. And a ruble is actually worth more. And one of the ways I usually look at it is with the power. Like, in other words, if you want to buy a kilowatt of power, or kilowatt hour, whatever you buy it as, you can buy it for $1.23, where it would cost you $1.5. And you could probably go down and do a whole average of which one's worth more. But if we just look at this, that's saying that it's not quite 20%, but it's good 15 or 20% that the dollar is worth less, right? You would need more dollars to buy the same thing. So the dollar is worth less than a ruble. So at that point with this 123, we just want to keep that in mind. But if we were to come back over here and look at what it cost you in dollars, it's costing us 54. Well, 54 is definitely more than like 10 or 20% more than this, right? Like, 20% more of 30 would be like 36, or even if it was 40. So as far as delivery, we're definitely better off. And then, I've never gotten into, I mean, I guess you could if you really, You know, is it better to buy the steel? Is it cheaper? You know, it definitely seems like, you know, again, this, but you can't compare them one to one is the point. So I think it looks like we're better off buying all these things with rubles is the bottom line, which is good because we don't have any dollars anyway. But I just thought I would point that out. So with the storage, we're just going to buy like the least amount that we can of these, of the things we need. Now we don't need wood, so we're fine. Now what I will do is I won't take the wood off of here because it does allow for a little bit of a buffer in the total storage of this thing. So let's approve the purchase of that. Let's come over to here and we want to purchase gravel. So we're just going to have to do it with rubles really, right? So there we go. We'll have gravel coming in, and then we want to come in here, and we need to buy just bitumen into here. I don't think it really makes too much difference, but, you know, we'll either conveyor it out or we won't. But we can just buy bitumen in here, get the system going, right? Because we might be getting bitumen pretty soon if we build our oil thing as one of our first industries. And we won't buy the gravel. So there we go. Yeah, this is always if you don't plan for this, now again, we'll have the gravel coming in automatically, so we'll just buy the cement. And what else? Mechanical, oof, this is the one that pains you. So we're going to limit the amount. And what I'm going to do is, yeah, let's limit, not 0. Yeah, see, it'd be nice to get those to like the tiniest amount we can. Because then when we come into here, into here, and we hit purchase, see it's saying the least amount we could buy is 20 tons, right? So we don't want 20 tons. That's like just a huge amount of our money. So let's see how this works. I haven't actually done this way, but I thought about it before at one point. Did we buy plastics? No, you know what? That was close. Our experiment almost failed. Let's bring that back up to... Yeah, if you play with the numbers... Yeah, 1% of each, right? So I'm hoping what it does is that it won't... Like, we'll buy the minimum amount. We'll buy less than... We'll just buy 1 ton and 1 ton. Like, because we really don't need that many of these anyway. If that makes sense. Yes, we will turn off the passengers. That's a good idea. Good thinking. Thank you, off the rails. There we go. So we'll see what that does. I'm even going to leave that open. But before I forget, yeah, number of students, number of passengers. No reason for them to go there. That's for sure. Now, how are we doing? Yeah, we got some firefighters. We don't really need... One of the things we can do early on to look at the parade of people. Where are you all going? Are you all going to school or church? Now, that's another issue. Yeah, we're going to have to get... Yeah, we got some teachers. Good. Yeah, we need to get educated people. And we have 16, and I don't necessarily think that they prioritize going to the school. Like, in other words, you know, unless we build a special house where we tend to send the people to, like we can assign the houses to work wherever we want them to work. Like, I don't know that they're going to prioritize being teachers versus going to become firefighters where we don't need the educated. But we'll let it fly for a minute and see how it goes. All right, so are we in good shape? Well, let's get some construction vehicles purchased. And we do want a covered haul, but we don't have any American dollars. I don't know why I keep thinking of dollars as an option. We just don't really have that option, do we? Well, here, let's play and see how far our money goes down, just filling up those yards and so forth. Now, let's see. Did this little experiment work? Yes, perfectly. So turn this down to 1%, and then you don't buy nearly as many of those components. And as soon as we need them, it should auto-purchase them, right? There we go. That wasn't too bad a hit. I think we've got everything we've told them to buy, and we've got some gravel coming in here, and yeah, we might not have gravel here because sometimes these things don't fill up until you're actually calling for it. Yeah, no workers. Yeah, so no workers is going to be a problem pretty quickly, huh? All right, let's get this guy filled up with. Yeah, we're going to want a bus for him, no doubt, right? And I find that the faster buses are better. Yeah, this is pretty quick. It only takes 7 though. Let's click on buses. And this is relatively expensive, but it takes 40 passengers. Yeah, let's get the fastest bus. And the reason is that when it comes to the construction, they only will travel for so long. So the faster bus will get them there quicker. So even if you can't take as many, they get there faster. Now, another thing, I've thought about it more. There was some conversation like a month ago. And you're definitely better off with the supplies as close to the construction area as opposed to the other way around. Like if you ever have a choice where you might have a construction office here, I would prioritize, like these guys are going to be quicker. And here's the reason. If you have a big construction project where they're going back and forth, they'll leave from over here, they'll go get their supplies, and then they'll go wherever it is, they'll go drop them off. Like let's say you're constructing over here. Well, they'll go drop them off, and then they'll drive back and forth between the supply, back and forth till it's done. But if you only need a little bit of stuff, which you often do, what he's going to do from over here is you're constructing over here in your office. He's going to drive all the way over here, get his supplies, then come back and drop them off. That takes twice as long to get those supplies there as this guy. Let's say he was doing the construction. He's going to come in, grab the supplies, and drop them off. And that might be enough to get you through the next phase where you're actually working on something, right? Like in other words, you don't have to go back and forth in order to get the construction started. I hope that makes sense. Now, of course, you always want to have, so really, it's always better to use a construction office if you have the choice between the two that's close to the supplies. I've definitely figured that out. All right, so now we can start actually building things if we purchase some more vehicles. And we have no workers to come up to here. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So we should probably put a bus stop that could service a few of these, right? That's why I stopped and got distracted. So let's go ahead and look at where it would make sense to put a small bus platform. Now this is going to be right in the way of a conveyor if we put it too close, but yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's better to use your measuring substation. Yeah, see, if we put it here, I don't really want it in the way of a conveyor that could theoretically come all the way across there, right? I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be too far for them to walk back. Yeah, again, I don't really want to get into the way of where I would put conveyors. So let's just put it here, and we can get a very small bus that just brings up enough people for now. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Don't do that either. All right, so let's just put a small bus stop there. It'll be a little bit costly, but it won't. We'll put it where we don't think we'll ever get in the way of this conveyor. And I'm on the wrong tab there. Yeah. Yeah, you won't fit in here, right? Nah. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that'll create one less road node. Let's just put it. Boy, I can really get it close there, can't I? All right, and then we'll want to do that with rubles right away because we definitely need those people Not going to get much construction done without that. Now, can we go? Yeah, that's really never hurts them to have. Boo. Yeah, wish. Oh, wait. Can we get past here? Yeah, you'll turn out that way, won't you? Oh, you might have to go underneath of this. That's all right. Yeah, I think that'll be better. Let's get rid of... Yeah, let's get rid of that whole thing. Yeah, good. So they'll be able to get in there, loop right around. That'll be, you know, as close as is reasonable. And then let's go over here and buy... Like, we really don't need many people working here. So let's go buy, like the little fast bus we were just talking about, right? And then we could say, well, we'll have to play forward time until that's built. And that was pretty quick. So you'll go from here to here. Now, just so you know, you can limit the number of people that are getting on, right? So you could also come in here and say, don't pick up students. But you could also say, like, I don't want you to take a full load. And what I'm thinking of is, let's just have him take like a 75% load each time. Hopefully he'll be back and forth pretty quick. And then we'll have this. Where should citizens go to work? So you're going to send half your people to there, the other half there. Hopefully that balances out on its own pretty well. We don't have any workers. How are we doing over here? Well, we're not real happy, so I think we're mostly going and getting our needs met. So let's start playing a little bit of time before 5 o'clock. There we go. There's, what, 2 hours and 40 minutes? Or, well, the first part of the thing wasn't really on this map, but good solid 2 hours of nothing but getting started. And then let's go, now that we have those guys sort of working on things, we can come up here and say, you know, yeah, get my favorite dumpers. 2 of them is usually pretty good. 2 open hulls is usually pretty good. And these you're definitely better off with the bigger ones. We did some science on that last week. And you're going to need a covered hull. And even though it's a bit of a waste, you know, to get the bigger one, it does make a difference. And I just tend to get it so it's faster, especially for the construction guys, right? Like waiting for a small truck to go back and forth 3 times is kind of a killer. We're not going to get a paver or a roller because we're not going to be paving too many roads just immediately here. Though one of our rules is 2 paved roads. There's definitely a debate between the tower crane and the road crane. So these can only go 26 speed, where the tower cranes are like much, much faster. So let's just get ourselves a tower crane because it's much, much faster. We already have an excavator. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a concrete mixer. And yeah, I think that's it, right? I'm not really sure what the personal car even does, though I should probably figure that out after 500 hours of playing, huh? Yeah, I think that's it. So these guys could be assigned. Oh, don't take off the auto search. Yeah, I like to manually assign these things. Yeah, why do you keep opening those things up? Yeah, it's a little laborious, but it's part of what I enjoy is the micromanaging of what construction they're going to go work on, right? So, for example, I think it's a pretty big no-brainer to just have them start working on this road, right? And then we can start designing and talking about in the next few minutes. Hey, Rever, welcome. Or, hey, Rever, geez. I read your quote. I wanted to say hello to you, and I read your comment. Genius. Welcome, Uncapping Badger. Glad you could join us. We're getting close to wrapping up here at 5 o'clock, but I'm glad you made it. Do this. Tend to try to do this every Saturday. It's 5 o'clock my time, Eastern time zone of the United States. But yeah. So, oh, and the other thing to mention to you guys before I forget is, yeah, tomorrow, and I definitely don't see a reason. I am going to do a live stream of the regular series that's just construction. I'm going to do it in the morning, my time, probably between 8 and 9. To be honest, tomorrow's Father's Day. And so I want to go out to dinner with my father, but I wanted to call him in the morning. So it sort of depends on when I get a hold of him. He's usually up. It shouldn't be a problem to catch him. But assuming I talk to him before 8, I should start at about 8 o'clock. And all I'm going to do is like a bunch of construction. It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be like this, all this designing and whatnot. It'll just be me like I would do off camera, with the difference that you guys are there and can comment and criticize and whatever else you want to do. But if you're interested in seeing that. And then the other thing is that would be up and available for people who do really like the construction. They can go back and watch what we did. So I don't feel like I'm just doing a lot of stuff off camera that you guys can't see. A little bit of a compromise, I think. Sound good? Okay. Thanks about the personal cars. That's good to know. So I guess we should talk about what industry we get up going next, right? I haven't heard from Radomir in quite a while. And I have no problems with getting the coal going next. We've certainly designed this, but just because we designed it doesn't mean we have to build it. Like, we can switch over and start doing the coal or the iron. Sorry, this is gravel. We can start, getting some gravel going pretty quickly there. Build a quarry, get this stuff built. This is what, our brick factory. So would certainly be good to get the bricks going through our ore processing first. But let's not forget we have oil right down here, so we could start designing our oil thing any moment. Uncapping, yeah, it would probably break at some level. That, like, certainly if you weren't there to at least babysit it a little bit. But I think it would do okay in certain circumstances, right? Um, I think it would do fine, but I don't think you could just let it go and go, eat lunch and go dancing and then come back and expect it to be running still, but if you just sort of let them do their thing, I think they would do stuff and things and eventually get it done. Like, a lot of times if you've seen the regular series that I have, like, I just end up with, like, I don't want to get the gravel system half built and the brick system half built. Like, I want to focus on, like these three things, right? All right, let's get the coal mine going. Let's get these conveyors. Let's get the bricks going first, right? But in the meantime, I'm off building, like, there's no reason we can't start laying out this gravel business, right? We don't have to build it right away. We just start laying it out. So does that make sense? So that's mostly the reason I don't use it. It's just because I usually have a bit of a priority as to where I want people to go to do things for different reasons too. Like, as we get more trucks and equipment and whatnot, we're going to want to, this construction office may be set up more to do asphalt roads or something, where we're just sending this guy out to pave roads constantly. And we might build another construction area right here, and they would be building our buildings in this area, or they'd be more designed to do that. Because, like, when it comes to paving these roads, you want a lot of dumpers, and that's that way they can take a lot of gravel and stuff out there, where, you really need a more balanced crew to be able to build build these things. Now, you could micromanage so far in that the beginning stages here are asphalt and concrete and whatnot. So you could, really micromanage your couple different kinds of builders like that. So in other words, you could have the paving crew do all the first stages, and then when they were no longer able to work, then your second crew can come in because they have the open hauls and get in there and do their thing. So you can see our dumpers are busily getting our gravel. I don't think I'm going to do too much more in this episode. I think we're going to kind of see how it goes for the next few minutes, start working towards probably getting the coal going. So it means I'll keep building this bridge up here, and then by next week we'll pick up from where we left off, and we can decide then, what we do with the oil and just what we do next. We could take your votes now, but at the same time, whoever's here next week will get to decide, more like what we build. Because I don't think in the next 10 minutes we'll do anything more than, I don't even think we'll get the road built up to there. So. Yes, well, we were talking earlier about building railroad tracks, so that's another thing we could get started on. We probably really should get started on it like ASAP, just because if we're going to build it, this steel price is just going to steadily increase and increase and increase. I don't know what it started at, but look, you can even see on the little, maybe you can't see it, but trust me, the steel price has gone up already to close to 400, even though that graph actually doesn't make any sense because the buy price is, oh wait, I was on the wrong thing. Okay, never mind. It doesn't really make sense. That's weird. Yeah, the price is, sell by rubles, I see. Oh, because I'm pointing, it's real. I didn't realize it was that sophisticated. Yeah, so this is sell by dollars. I didn't realize you could hover over either one. But you can see from that graph, it's already this is already up to close to 400. So if we're going to buy a track and build a track, I definitely think we should do it like ASAP before that steel price really rises. Now the problem is, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but you get the point. It's, we should do that very quickly before the steel price is 2,000 and it's just really cost prohibitive. So we're a little bit limited in how much we can, here's the other thing is, as we decide to do all these things, keep in mind, we're not having any money come in. So it's great to decide to build that steel line. So before we do that, I definitely want to do a cost analysis as far as realistically, how much is that going to cost us? And then we're talking about building not such a great rail line anyway to try to save on the price of lumber versus making prefab panels. So it's I don't know if that's really worth the loss in speed that you get. So this is 150 kilometers. This is 70. I mean, that's a massive difference between the two for the difference in the price of prefab panels versus wood. So a prefab panel is $23 or rubles to buy, $32, and wood is 13. So in other words, is it really worth, now I know it's going to be many times that, but in other words, you're really getting a lot faster train possibilities if you build a proper track. And then since we have gravel and cement and all this possible, are we better off waiting till we can do that? But yeah, we do need to get an export going. That's something we can decide on. Again, this isn't just Rever deciding. Though I have, just so you know, I have decided to keep the live stream moving more quickly. I'm not going to mess around waiting for your opinions quite as much. I definitely want them, and I want it to be as much of a community effort as I can make it. But in watching, I haven't watched the whole replays of the live streams, but I have watched bits and pieces, and at times it's almost painful for while I'm sitting there going, well, what's your comment? What's your comment? What's your comment? And I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but So if you notice this episode, this live stream, I tried to keep things moving. I'll delay a little bit to get a comment or two, but mostly just plow on forward. So since we have less than 10 minutes, I'm going to pause it and let's take a little bit of look at the State of the Union, and I will read whatever comments I just saw popping out of the corner of my eye. Oil would be good. Yes, importing the most of. This is the kind of State of the Union that I want. That's why I wanted to run forward a little tiny bit of time. And I can almost tell you right off the bat, the number one thing that's costing us money, clothing. So let's go and see if my prognostication, and if it's not right now, it will be. So import from the Soviet bloc, 82,000. Steel, $58,000 worth of steel. See, it's just a killer, especially when it comes to building railroad tracks. But whatever. If we build railroad tracks, it means we can get exports more quickly. So I'm definitely not saying no. Most of all of this stuff was because we filled up those, so we can't really count that too much, though we can, right? But getting steel would be far and away the biggest single thing. Mechanical components, which are nothing but steel. And plus you do have to research those. Oh, you know what we don't have? We don't have a university. We're not allowed to import any more people. So we have to get a university going. Or else we'll run out of educated people and the whole map will be over. Gravel, 7,000. Kind of a big one, Now again, I think we need to get to another month where because we spent money just filling up the gravel thing, but gives us some idea, things to think about for next episode. But as far as our normal things goes, we used 2,000 in fuel, but again, that's also filling up the gas station. Where's my gas? So in other words, we bought 14 of that just to fill it up. So we've only actually used 2. If that makes sense, because 14 was to fill it, and then we bought 16, so that means we used 2 more liters or tons, I guess. Yeah, 2 more tons. So really, it's only 1/8 of that, which is, a lot less. But if you look, clothes, 1,500. That's going to be, if we build nothing, that clothes price the electronics isn't so bad because there's going to be a little rush on the electronics, but then they don't keep using them at the same rate. But the clothes will be our biggest thing, which is why and that's where plopping down we haven't talked about this, and something to think about for next episode. We could plop down just a couple of farm tiles and get liquor, cattle, part of clothing. You still have to import the chemicals, but you can get fabric going. You can get all of those things use crops. What did I miss? Liquor, alcohol, food. I said liquor and alcohol twice. That's the same thing. You get the idea. So we can cover, quite a bit by just making like a little mini farm, not in the way of anything else, and get some alcohol and clothing being built. Now, again, that might be a lot to ask for this town. Maybe by that point, we start talking about, well, would we be better off building over here and connecting the two, right? We don't really have a rail thing to look at, do we? Because we can't, unless we have a rail station, we're not going to be able to see how fast the trains go. But we can take a look maybe in the regular, if I remember to look tomorrow in the live stream, I'll try to look at what the trains are actually traveling around at. Because you're absolutely right. It may be that building the cheaper track doesn't make that much difference because the trains don't go that fast anyway. And don't forget, those trains are not cheap. Not one bit. You're probably talking $100,000 for a train or more. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I said, before we start building a train, I think it's worth pausing the game. And even if we intend to, just delete it, lay out the rails, right? We might even be able to do it now. you know, and we could even do them side by side kind of thing. Like if we came from here, or you know what, as a matter of fact, let's do this. Save. We could do something along these lines. So I'm going to save this as, I decided I don't think there should be a problem with numbers, but you know what, I'll start it with a letter. Sometimes file names with numbers could be a little goofy for some programs. Always put the year first. People put the year last, and then things don't sort in the right order. And then put the month with a 0, and then put the date. And then it will put it in the right order. Here, the other thing I would do is let's put end. I always like to indicate if it's the beginning or the end of the live stream. Since this one started with a blank map, I didn't save it. So I think what we could do anyway is just come along and, and we can even figure out the difference in the price and the cost. But let's just take and follow the road as a thing. Now this is the faster lines, right? So we're just going to follow the road until it doesn't make sense, even though, we're not going across the bay there anyway. Yeah, so I think we're just going to follow the road. Now we know that the other one's going to cost a little bit less. Yeah, where are we going? Yeah, so we'll stay on this side of the thing. I'm surprised we're able to build it this easily without it turning very red on us, right? No, we need a free excavator. Hey, that's going to be another issue for the poor little train that has to go up and down all these hills, right? Because we're not going to be able to turn red. Yeah, too much hill. Yeah, I kind of went right up a hill there, didn't I? Right up a mountain. Let's see, can we follow the road around a little bit more? No. Yeah, we can just for our estimating purposes. See, we're not going to make it over that hill. All right, let's go back and delete some more of that. I'm just going to follow the road real tightly. I know that's not how we would actually build it, but again, by the time we really, I mean, you put the road through there, but you won't let me build my. Yeah, now we should be a little bit better off. I think it's a little flatter down this way. Yeah, so can we get past the city? No, you won't even let me go there. Oh, come on. Really? Okay, you let me go there, though. Yeah, it's really... Yeah, I can see why. All right. Really, I want to get down this way. Can I build? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Free at last. All right, then we're going to have to, let's just go across. That'll give us, yeah, of course. Of course I go up over the wrong way. Yeah, so we definitely have the issue of not being able to level things unless we pay for it with rubles. So let's sneak around this way. We're just trying to get a ballpark idea of the cost of this, that's all. That's why I saved it. I won't save it again. All right, so now, what will a bridge cost us? Was that added to the price? Yes, there we go. Good. Hey, we're making it.
kind of surprised we were even able to do this, but it's probably showing it's not the worst way to go, right? There we go. Now just for the sake of it, let's plop down. Well, we would need a, I think you get oil out of this one, right? No, where do we, oh, here we go. Fuel unloading. Boom. Does that add to the price of all that or no? Let's plop this one down. No, so they don't. So plopping them down, what we would have to do is auto build with rubles, and then it'll tell us, yeah, so this will be like 12,000, and this will be like 21,000. Let's, we're not going to load aggregate anyway. So that would be like another, like a little, let's just call it 40,000. I know that's a bit of an overestimate, but we haven't attached tracks and everything else we'll need to connect oil and or regular cargo. So I think it's not unfair to say that. Now if we come back, oh, we just committed to that. And I didn't even look at the price. But it was like 350,000, wasn't it? So we're talking about $400,000 to build that track. Now, the thing I don't know is, let's just compare, is it the same amount of steel? Because steel is the big one, right? So let's build this guy. Yeah, right there. All right, so this is the slower track that needs wood. And then this is the faster track. Same amount of steel, same, more or less. I don't know why this one takes 1 ton of gravel less, but, and I'm sorry, I haven't been reading the comments through all that, but I will, I promise, before we go. So the big difference there is 46 tons of panels versus 46 tons of boards. And the difference in the price, you know, I know it's a lot of panels and a lot of boards, and I was hoping to, well, we kind of estimate out how much by doing the percentage of the job and all of that, right? So if it was, let's just say, going to cost us 400 grand, you know, I don't think that the difference in the price of those panels is worth the going with boards. Not when we have the possibility of making the prefab panels. It is almost just the same as us starting a lumber industry. Like as far as the cost. And the thing I'm worried about is that worth half of our money, right? Like now that we just decided to do a train, we have to make it the whole way there with the train. We're just not going to be able to build the oil industry at that point. And I don't know that we're going to be able to build, yeah, we can get the bricks going, but now we've just kind of, well, we've spent half our money. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's a lot of our money to get a railroad track up there, I guess. As opposed to just trying to get fuel stations up here and a power line so that the trucks can make it, right? The trucks don't need to do a great job. They just need to get us positive income, you know? All right, let me read a bunch of chats here. And then we'll call it quits after that. But it'll give us all stuff to think about. Hey, this is why I do it. I'm not. Sometimes I know I sound argumentative about things or I sound negative. It's me being an engineer about it, right? Like you don't build a bridge until you prove that it won't fall down. So the way you prove that it won't fall down is to try to make it fall down. Like you try to find the negativity. And then when all the negatives add up, at least you can then say, okay, well, here's the faults, right? Like this is the negative part and be honest about it. This is the positive. This is it'd be great to have a train going up there. We know that's a big positive, but is it worth, all of or half of our money in order to do that? But all right, let me read some comments and I need to drink a tea real quick and then I'll be right back. That's interesting, Radomir. No agro farm. So what, they just took the crops like right to a warehouse and or the food thing? Yeah, one of the thing nice about the agro farm is that it doesn't need people. So you plop it down over here, you level out wherever you're going to put your fields, and just away you go, right? Like we wouldn't need to worry about getting people all the way over, and the farms take up a good amount of room. So yeah, if you wanted to make well, but then again, we do have like little towns here that we could possibly, come over here and use these people to farm, a couple fields. So you're saying basically use people instead of using tractors, that's or harvesters. Do they? I guess yeah, they would plant the stuff too. So yeah, definitely would be an interesting experiment. Well, because we have the coal, and I just sort of did this, I just plopped it down for the sake of where it might work. I'm talking about Steve's comment about as far as making, yes, because we have coal, well, you can't see it from there, but we would need, when it comes to the building itself, in order to make cement, you need coal. So that's not that you couldn't purchase it anyway, but you need coal and gravel. So I kind of put this guy here, even though these roads might become an issue, where we could have gravel coming from our gravel ore processing, and this is our coal yard up here. We could have coal coming down into here for that. So here we would have a cement plant, and yeah, just, there you go. There's our cement plant. There's our concrete plant. But then somewhere in this vicinity, we could we'd probably want to put just thinking about the prefab panels, you'd probably want to put them somewhere you can get a conveyor over to them. So I'd imagine maybe even right next door here might be a good place. Need to flatten some terrain. Maybe I'll plop that in just for argument's sake. Now again, of course, we could make a little lumber industry anywhere as far as that goes. But there you go. There's where we can get gravel in over to here. Now the problem is we'd have to cross those conveyors, but you can do that. Like in other words, it might be an argument for putting the cement or the prefab panel plant down here and then putting the cement plant up here. So that way the coal can come in without too much conveyor madness going on. Right, switch these around. But yeah, we would, be able to do it. Now, of course, building the cement plant is not free. You need 256 tons of steel. So it's, that's, if we're at, let's just say $500 a ton, it's going to cost us $150,000 to build the cement plant. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it versus just, at that point, you could just do the prefab panels plant, right, and import the cement. Because again, the problem we have isn't that you can't do these things. It's we have to choose what we can do with that amount of money and get something in exporting, right? So it's not to say we can't build train lines. It's not to say we can do whatever we want. It's just, if we build a train line, we're not going to build as many industries, right? Because, we're just not going to be able to afford them. That's all. And it's fine. As long as we're committed to an industry that we know will make us money, that could certainly be a good way to not have to worry about building, gas stations all the way along here to make sure our truck works, because that will be a problem. But the truck may take long. Well, I don't know. It's going to take quite a while to build that track too, but that's another thing. I don't know how long it'll take to actually build those tracks. And then we have to build the the facilities to get the track going, which again isn't the end of the world, just something else to keep in mind. Something that's not free and without its time. So good. So well, we can talk about it. Like I said, I enjoy the conversations, and sometimes you do things and they fail, and maybe building the tracks, if it failed, we would know next time that's just not the best way to do it. I think Edison, when it came to inventing his light bulb, I think he tried thousands of different materials to see what would be best. Everybody considers him such a success. He's like the biggest failure in the history of inventions when it comes to the light bulb. He failed thousands of times, But hey, all you got to do is get it right once sometimes in life, especially if you have the funding. Well, we have around the map, even though we're not allowed to import them, we have 2,000 people. So we actually, because we're on a populated map, we do have, quite a few folks living in and around, enough to get, these things don't need to run at 100% either. I mean, I forget how many maximum workers, 200 workers for this. I mean, you don't need near that to get coal. It's more about getting, in my opinion, steady workers up here. Like if you always have 50 in the iron ore plant, you're going to get, decent coal out of it, or iron, or, again, just it's a matter of getting a few people in there doing something. So as long as you have a good system to get, like I said, heck, if you had 50 or 100 constantly coming up here, I think so between 1 and 300 people would keep this, with some coal going. Now, again, if you're trying to fire up all these other things, but again, another thing that I think tends to happen is this prefab panels plant is capable of putting out far more prefab panels than we're going to use realistically with all of our construction, right? The biggest thing that I've run into with the other map is steel. Steel is the problem in this game because you use steel for everything and it's massively expensive. So anytime you're building something that uses a particular amount of steel, you have to say, ouch, it's using steel. That's going to be expensive. Like if I had one industry, if you were going to build like on the easiest place on the map, you would build next to some place that had coal and iron. Because if you can get steel going, it makes all of these other buildings massively cheaper if you can produce those. Now, they're not particularly cheap to build themselves, and it's going to cost you a fair amount just to get that steel built. But, at the same time, if you had to have one, and then the steel exporting, by the way, is a great business. So if you do make extra steel, it's a good thing to be able to export. Yes, food, clothes industry is wonderful for exports. So that's what I'm saying. I mentioned it, I don't know if we would do it right here. I keep pointing there, but it's certainly not a place we have picked for anything. We can even have people working out of this town. Remember, we're allowed to expand our towns. We might not be allowed to build new towns just to try to make it harder, but there's no reason we can't just come right over here where we could take advantage of our already construction and start building up this town some, importing people over to it, and just get a little food industry going here, cut down on the price of our own clothing, if nothing else, and then not worry about the oil right away, or do we come in and put the oil in, right? But again, we can decide. I think it's a fun decision to have to make, and heck, we could even try it multiple ways, right? Now that we have, you saw me save it, we can always keep coming back to this point if we decide to, right? And it's not like we built any of this stuff, so even if we completely change our minds, who cares, right? Like we didn't spend any money on any of this yet. So we can go off in another direction if we decide that the railroad track failed next week or whatever, or the railroad track worked like a champ, but we picked the wrong industry to try to export, and we can try to restart a couple times from whatever location, whatever save we actually make. So there you go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I definitely did. It was fun. I feel a little more comfortable with starting on a populated map. And yeah, the next week we can decide which direction we want to head. But we got an idea of rough idea of what the steel lines would cost. We can debate the faster or the slower, but we should find out how fast the trains are going anyway, right? And then we could talk about oil or agriculture or ramping up the coal. And now again, we can't sell power, but even power will become more and more of a cost for us as we ramp up these other industries. So that is an issue. And yeah, so there you go. There's a map on Steam that shows where all the oil and coal. You know what? I've heard of that before, and I don't know how accurate it is. I think it's getting to be kind of old. I don't know if they move things around. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the kind of I don't think that's a big problem. I do wish it was a little bit easier to find those things, but it's not really that hard either. I mean, I guess I don't know. It's I mean, it doesn't take. There's some iron there. Actually, we have fairly good iron here. Do we have good coal up that way? I mean, if you get iron and coal, you don't even need a big coal thing, or even a little tiny itty dit there. No. So yeah, we'd be stretching that little. Yeah, there's good. Yeah, is there any good coal over this way? No. Yeah, so there's no, even though there's good iron there, there's no. Yeah, so I don't know why they make you. There's a little tiny bit of coal there. Anyway, all right. Well, this is. Yeah, and the thing is definitely it doesn't change from map to map. So if you did find a map and you confirm that it was good, I don't know if they've changed it, since that map came out. Yeah, see you, Steve. Thanks for coming. See you, all of you. I mean, I'm gonna head out now. It's usually a thing that I do from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. And I don't have any reason I won't be able to do it this Saturday. And then tomorrow morning, I'll be doing another construction live stream for those of you who missed it. So, and that is June 16th, in case you're watching it in the future. So that only applies this 1 week to try to get some extra construction done on that map without doing it all off camera. So. Well, thank you, Foxy Cool. Yeah, we can. We can do it again next week. We can see what you guys decide if you think about it over the course of the week. All right. Well, again, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good time. Now, I usually let it play so people can say their final chats and just end it after a minute or two of playing. But I'll mute the mic and I will see you guys, I hope, next week. Or, hopefully you get to watch some of the episodes during the week. Take care. And thanks for coming. Bye-bye.